Hey, Walking Dead fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to talk about Season 6, Episode 12, Not Tomorrow Yet. And fans, this was a phenomenal episode as you get to see something that you have never seen in the comic books. You get to see Rick and his group go on the offensive instead of the defensive positions. That's what you've always seen in the comic books, and Rick has always had to retaliate back and get revenge on the evil doers in the comics. Or in this episode of the show, we wind up seeing that Rick goes onto the offensive to attack Negan first before they attack him. And this is all in agreement of working together with the Hilltop so they can survive. And in this episode, it was absolutely phenomenal to see this happen. Them go into the planning on attacking the compound and going into like this stealth mode position. I mean, the plan was flawless from the very start, and it looks like by the time you get to the end of the episode, it looks like everything goes according to plan except what happens at the end, and you're just like, oh my god. But overall, it was a fantastic episode because you wind up seeing the cast of characters go through go through their emotions here. They're having a tough time dealing with this because it's almost like crossing that threshold, like what the governor did, and you actually get to see Tara kind of, mention this at one time. She's like, I was part of this group and I've done this once before and I didn't like it. And but they all kind of know that they have to do this in order to survive. And we wind up seeing Carol go through her situations with Maggie. Maggie has her problems where she feels that, this was her idea and she's responsible and that she has to go into battle. And it's just a really great episode. And just seeing Glenn actually do his first human kill was just touching, and Heath going through the same situation there. It was a very emotional episode, yet very suspenseful, and I feel that this second half of The Walking Dead has been flawless. I loved every single episode that this season has brought, but this second half has been great, and leading into Negan is just, it looks like it's a story in itself that I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Like, what will happen? Will it stay true to the comics? Will it deter from the comics? I'm not sure. This episode itself came closest to issue number 97 of the comic books, where you get to see Rick return from the hilltop. He does make a speech in front of his group, but however, no one opposes him. Morgan is not there, and we get to see Morgan in this episode wind up, putting up a fight and saying that everyone should live and that we should, give them a chance. But in the end, Rick is kind of like, no. Also, we get to touch on a little different things in comparisons to the comic book, where we get to see Abraham deal with his situation with Rosita, how he kind of just breaks it off with her. In the comic book, it is touched upon, but he's already with this girl named Holly. And Sasha seems to replace that character in the comic books as Abraham's, next true love interest here. Also, a comparison into the comics is the huge thing with Rick and the group going to Negan's compound, where in the episode, yes, you saw Rick go to the compound with his crew and physically attack Negan, and that's what made this episode so good, where in the comic books, you saw Negan's people attack Rick first. Now, Rick and his group in the comic already had disagreements, with the Hilltop, so he didn't hesitate on killing his people. But that's how Negan winds up coming across Rick and his people, because he killed his people, so Negan wants revenge. Now it looks like in the show it's taking a little bit of a different turn as Maggie and Carol wound up being hostage by some females. And from what my guess is that these females are actually Negan's wives. And you find that out later in the comic book that Negan has more than one wife in this world. And he's kind of like, well, why not? Why just have one wife when you can have many? There's no rules in this world. So that's what it looks like you're seeing these female, or maybe these other females in the future episodes. But overall, this episode was phenomenal. phenomenal. I was just jumping out of my seat. I couldn't wait to see what was going to happen next. And great episode. So I can't wait for episode 13. And guys, leave me in the comments below. What was your favorite part of this episode? Was it the part where Rick sits there and picks a head off the floor, a zombie head, and kind of makes it like Gregory and punches it in the face? Was it the whole attack on Negan's compound? Was it just that whole stealth-like moment? Just give me your favorite moments on this week's episode. And guys, as always, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Take care, guys. See you soon.